I gotta check. Going live on channel. No email yet though. Guess I should run with it, yeah. Alright. So there's gonna be a giant gap in missing shit from this place. Because yesterday it seems like PlayStation was acting as if it was recording, but it was not. So anything in the immediate future, it was pretty much this entire left side of Liurnia went through. And a bit of this little upper right, along with some catacombs and side questing things. So it's going to look a little jumbled, but nothing really majorly important missed except for you have to go through the Carrion Manor here in order to get a legendary armament known as the Sword of Night and Flame, along with going onto the backside out here and kicking off a bunch of different side quests with Ronnie the Witch, so you can get another alternative ending for the game. Fought my way up and through this little battlefield in order to get to the Grand Lift of Dectus, which is an important area to go to for quest progression. This little place is an ambush full of ancestral worshippers. Couple of overworld bosses, mini bosses inside of dungeons, and stuff like that too. So down here is a church. This is Muriel the Pastor. It's a giant turtle pope. Give him all your spell books so that you can learn your spells, and he'll always just sit there. He'll never be an NPC that dies or anything like that unless you do something to him. And then we made our way around the little area here. You'll have to defeat this tower right here, which is like a Lord of the Rings callback. So little giant eye will kind of rise above and start casting frenzy on you. So you don't want to get frenzied because you'll get madness. Madness will pop a bunch of your HP out. And then continue on through here. over this way will be a giant guarding the giant little tower here. We won't be able to do anything with the building yet because you need a certain gesture in order to unlock it. This is very important for Hayeda's questline and achieve that you did all of the Shibriri Grape questline with her and progressed her all the way up until she reaches Bellum Church. Once she reaches Bellum Church, she's going to ask us to get a special kind of grape called the Fingerprint Grape. And then makes mention of where its location might be at. Eventually, you'll find your way up here. Then we continue on. Get a Frenzied Cookbook, getting some clarifying boluses. Those will start to heal your madness buildup. Pretty much all those Eye of Yellows that we've been finding, this is what it's going to finally do for us. Back here in the corner, we get a note about the Lord of Frenzied Flame. Beneath Leyendale at the very bottom lies our Lord, Lord of the Frenzied, the Three Fingers who holds us in thrall. So right there is telling us a hint of where the Frenzied Flame Lord is. So if you already kind of scanned through your achievement list and you see that you need 3 things and one says Lord of the Frenzied Flame, this quest is obviously going to matter the most. Shibuya's Woe. This was a early starting gift that you could have picked. We already seen what that is. Just kind of attracts enemies' attention towards your direction. Useful more for helping out your host in their world, stuff like that. So if you see someone struggling with a boss, then just take the attention off of them and, you know, do your dodging and everything else to kind of help them out. I grab a easy stone sword key. And coming up in this direction, as long as you did everything with Hayata correct, you're going to pop an NPC invasion, and it could be one of the harder invasions up to this point just because of the build-up meter that this guy has. Lord Vike, it seems you were no lord after all. Then where is he, one true lord, the lord of Frenzied Flame? We beg of you, incinerate all that divides and distinguishes. May chaos take the world. Okay. So it shows that we're kind of on the right path there with achieving what ending we need. I'm going to take the sucker out. First, it's basically just a laser beam from your eyeball. You can charge it up and shoot it. Pretty cool. Causes madness buildup as well, so anything afflicted will pop for major damage. These are the most unique plants in the entire game. I think they're the only set of plants that actually do the madness buildup powder instead of just regular poison or scarlet rot. So it's a very easy place to kind of get trapped in and then just instantly pop death. And just prep yourself for NPC invasion from here. like I said, a rather difficult fight with him. So you get the Fingerprint Grape, something that she needed, and Vike's War Spear. The only weapon in the entire game that does Madness build-up. So, Faith requirement, great spear-type weapon. You saw that he swung it around with ease. Pretty much get the same kind of thing out of it as well, since it's heavy dexterity. Very interesting if you're trying to do a little Vike cosplay in the game. Along with all the other Madness sets. Dang, you're just getting it over there. Sneezing, coughing, having fits. Yeah, hey. I've got another church set up. So if you're following the White Masvari quest line, this is one of the easiest maids to go ahead and get the blood from, because once you do the 3 invasions, he's going to give you a basically a handkerchief. And then once you get that handkerchief, he tells you to go find the blood of a maiden. And you can pick it off of her, or the one that we saw earlier from the little chapel that we had arrived in. So she'd be the easiest candidate since she's out here. Then you would soak it, go give it to Vare, and then he'll give you an item and tells you not to use it pretty much ever. But once you use it, you'll go transport it over to a different zone. Since I'm not partaking in any of the multiplayer aspects of the game, I'm not going to be showing that part. So we're going to approach it from a different way. Then always sit at churches in case we get Melina. That'll pretty much take care of the entire top side here. So now what you want to do is go back to Hyetta and give her the fingerprint grape.
They're special grapes which only grow on those who've been clasped by the burnt fingers. Please, could you donate a fingerprint grape to me? Without one, I don't know. I feel like I might go mad. Oh. Oh. A fingerprint grape. Tried and true. What a wondrous thing. A fingerprint grape. Oh. How sweet. Yet, how it burns. Thank you. I've composed myself again. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I'm sure I'll be a finger maiden. Thank you. I'm sure I'll be...
And then now she's transported to another place. We won't see her for a really long time now, but once she's out of here, we've done everything we can up to then to accomplish the ending that we need, other than just finding the Lord of the Frenzied Flame for sure. Without doing any of that, it won't happen. You will end up running into her, but since everything would have been skipped and you wouldn't have given her any of the grapes, it would just be dialogue, and that's it. Continuing forth, we still have a little bit more of Liurnia to discover. I want to go ahead and grab this. Only one important item to grab around here, but there's 2 rune bears, so I kind of want to watch these dudes too. Get one of these things too, just kind of. Just want to grab that, that's it. So now we're looking really good on Stone Sword keys. And we find ourselves in the underground area once again. If you get squeamish with bugs, then this section's not for you, because they're going to be all over the place. That attack you want to watch out for. A little acid spray really hurts. So we got a new item, Grace Mimic. Before you go to the left, you want to come to the right first. Pick up a few items. And grab a brace. Kind of overviewing, you can see what we're dealing with down there. A bunch of mudmen. A couple items from the high top. One stuff in the corner. I think these are mushrooms, though. I'll skip this stuff. Now we can get the mace to +9. You do want some kind of a ranged option before you go in here, because there's going to be a monster that kind of is annoying to deal with without it. I actually don't even think you can hit it with melee. You need to actually have a ranged option to do so. In here, you can see there's some bullshit. Best thing about the bugs is that they got no poise, so any kind of attack will just kind of smack them wild. And then popping those big sacks usually gives you some pretty good runes. I would craft some arrows. Regular old bone ones will do. Now we can get our sword to +12. Celestial Dew, this will be your free one. So if you need to take this to the Church of Vows to repent any kind of sins you've done. I wouldn't really mess with the clay dudes unless you want their weapons. I said about the harpoon guys a long time ago, they do produce a really good magic spear, if that's something you want to do. But they just travel in large groups like this. I've seen the amounts of damage. That's pretty much why I recommend against it. They just take too many swipes, they do a lot of damage in groups, and they'll give you nothing in terms of runes. And they expect you to kind of run through there, but there's actually a little hidden path down this way. So then that beast over there is basically why you need a ranged option. It's going to summon a bunch of rocks at you. Pretty much a gravitational type of enemy. You're going to have to kind of like use the giant pillars and stuff like that to avoid this. Hold your shield up because sometimes the rocks like to kind of phase through. They usually melt the spells really fast, so if you're a mage build, you'll destroy that thing pretty quickly. But the good thing about those types of enemies is that they don't ever come back. Held onto our runes yet again for another merchant. And you get a map. Map's not really essential for this area because it's just a series of tunnels, but you're going to need it for another part.
Is someone custom well?
So, Lost Ashes of War, Celestial Dew, another cookbook, Thaw Frost and Simulating Boluses, Perfumer's Cookbook, Acid Spray Mist. Still don't know anything about the Perfumer stuff, so have to figure that out in the future. And then you get the prisoner set up if you didn't choose it as a starting class. So not the greatest merchant, but he does have cookbooks. And you're going to need every single cookbook in the game in order to pop your trophy for that type of thing. There we go. Kickoff's begun, dude. Feels weird not watching it.
Yeah.
In case you get too brave, I would probably grab this brace in case things go wrong with the mud guys. One thing you're probably saying is, why did they let us use the horse in the last place but not this place? And they're very subjective to when and where we can use torrent in the underground area. Guess they figured since this is kind of like a cave system, there wouldn't have been much needed for him anyway, seeing that he would get stuck and kind of trapped in there. Down here, you just kind of want to piss everything off and then run around and grab some items. And the harpoon. A pretty lengthy spear. Not as long as the pike or anything like that, but it's pretty. I mean, physical damage goes up pretty high. Main thing is the split damage with physical and magic. But very useful for a mage build if you're trying to look for a melee option and you want to keep things away from you. Very popular. Now we want to go back to the round table since we found some upgrade material.
I am pleased to... Would you like me now? You are so very warm. Dear Roger, the ancient, the black knives, along with... Dear Roger, the ancient, the black knife, along with it. Then good day.
Greeting, do you hear for...
If you settled in on any one of these so far, then just upgrade them as you will see fit. Yeah, I haven't really been using them because I'm saving up for a different one we'll get throughout the game.
No, how could his father has been now?
Well, I took you no man to lay out your own.
Then, with looking it up, it seems that the longbow is going to be the better of the damage quality that we need. And then once we get a great bow, it'll either be the great bow or a golem's great bow, which drops from those giant dudes with the little fire ankles. That'll be your best option for damage-wise for ranged options. So the longbow is going to stay. Composite bow is more considered a light bow, but it falls in damage. And of course, in FromSoft Compassion, you know, they don't have a lot of good range selection when it comes to this stuff. And if you're looking for like the most damage output, though, out of all of the little ranged options we have here, it's going to be the Arbalest. Arbalest will go up to 300 and something. But being that it's a crossbow, you know, it's going to shoot slower and takes a little bit to reload rather than a bow. Alright, upgrades are made. This one raises your immunity. You're starting to see the redundancy in these types of charms that they give us. Be careful for these kinds of enemies right here. If you remember the Dark Souls 1 days, then you know exactly what these things are. Except these like to cast Death Blight on you. Cleans off filth and other accumulate. Yep, slightly reducing poison buildup. That's soap. That's all it's good for. It's not gonna really do much for you. And just kind of poke your head out here and take this place in. Probably one of the most trolliest places ever made. Once you're finished with the little basilisk over there, you want to move on. And we're nearing the ending of Liurnia's version of the Underworld, so far so good. And it's this guy over here, I think, gives the mushrooms. Melted mushroom. So for this boss encounter, pretty much any one of your little greases will work. Mostly the Dragon Moon grease would probably be the best stuff for it, but again, I wouldn't waste it on these kinds of enemies. So you can, poison, whatever. Any kind of grease will help you out here. I usually go for blood because you get the chunking damage as long as it can hit. And we will have another encounter with these dudes again. Except this one's on foot versus a horse. Alright, Frozen Lightning Spear is actually a really cool incantation. This will cause a frostbite buildup for your incantation builds. Oh, I think it's pretty great. The hit boxes, though, inside of it, it's kind of shitty versus tinier dudes. Because it's the way that the lightning bolts strike the ground. That's basically where the damage comes from. And they somehow find their way slipping through the cracks every single time. But if you summon that thing on bigger targets, it's a lot better. Then if you look down there, you can see another grace. And you just know that your adventure is going to continue at some point through here. So you grab the chest. Very important item here. This is a Great Ghost Glovewort. So this will strengthen your special summons to plus 10. So you get an early game boss holding off on a end game item. And you saw that it's really easy to destroy it. Little health bar and everything. For some reason, the other one that we first met, the right leg was bugged a bit. So it was really hard to hit it, but then in this one you saw the right leg was just fine. And that's pretty much how you defeat those guys. Just a series of dodging. That's it for the underground. Now we want to do a little quest progression for Dialos here. It's kind of obscure that he would even end up in this area, but we got to go ahead and do this anyway. Good thing we found that. We got another catacomb, so we'll go ahead and just take care of those. The bottom part. Gonna be those little vulgar dudes that are gonna be hitting here. Do you want to run over here? Pick this up. And then kind of stuffed in the corner somewhere is going to be the door. Every time you see these types of elevators, you kind of want to run towards this. There's like a little platform every now and again. They all mostly play the same way. And then check them at the bottom to see if they have like an elevator trick. This one does not. This place can be one of the more harder dungeons to take on, depending on what level you're basically at. I'll deal with him. Go ahead and use this so you don't forget. Get you a Nox mirror helm. Helm fashioned from the crystal-looking glass, one among Eternal City's ritual implements, easily broken and weak against striking attacks. Worn by those committed to high treason and wards off the intervention of Great Will and Vassal Fingers. So if we take a good look at it, we know someone that wears that helmet. Obviously a very shitty helmet since it doesn't give you no type of resistance. Denver's up 7-3. Alright, first instance of an imp head. And then we got the scythe. Scythe has innate blood loss buildup. Very good weapon. If you want the best version though, the grave scythes from the skeleton guys is the best one in the entire game. But that one will get the job done for sure. And with imp heads, they are another one of those specialty items that raise your stats if you put it on. They're just a lot heavier. It's the only caveat to them is that they're heavy. So this one raises your intelligence. So intelligence will go up by 2. And each imp head will do something different. And this is an instance of a kind of a decoy dungeon. Another prattling pate. This one's wonderful. Do really want to start trying to test your skills against these guys because we're going to see them a lot in the end game, and they only just get much harder. So they're not very fun enemies to deal with, but they're part of it. Now, this guy right here, you just kind of want to pop the trap. Get you an easy kill right there. Sneak past this guy, and then you want to hit this in case things go terribly wrong. You get the page, spirit of page who traveled at the side of the noble he served, using piercing sword and crossbow to defend his master. One becomes a page merely by accident of being born into obscurity. Nothing is asked of ability, talent, or volition. Page builds are some of the more harder ones to master because you're going to only have a crossbow in your left and your rapier in your right. But it's always been very popular to do that kind of a thing, so it gives you a range and even, obviously double range option with a poking sword. But, I lack the defense because no shield, stuff like that. Now that we've taken care of the gimmick, we've taken some damage and lost some stuff, so you want to go ahead and heal yourself back up. We'll get another burial watchdog fight, but this one's a lot different. A little bit too late, in my opinion, to get this kind of an Ash. The Kaiden folk, though, you know, we've already seen these dudes since the beginning of the game. But if you want one as a partner, there you go. Then over here earlier, I made a mention of not jumping down too early to this place. Oddly enough, this is supposed to be another Alexander meeting right here, but his quest line is always bugged about the time when you speak to him about going to Caelid and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really know his triggers. Sometimes I get him here, sometimes I don't. But he's stuck inside the mine right now, so I think once you kind of go through Caelid, if you choose to go through Caelid first before Liurnia, then he'll be here. But like I said, I'm not really familiar with how he kind of quest progresses himself. But you won't miss anything if you don't get him there. I think he just gives you another item or something like that that you can make. You just want to carefully fall down little tombstones here. And as the name indicated, this place is called Jarburg. And there's a pretty lengthy quest that involves this entire place. Want to give it a good exploration though and grab some free runes. They got a bunch of flowers here, so if you're really into item crafting, this is going to be the place to come to. You want to climb the buildings and kind of search these because they have pots everywhere. So you grab all the stuff. Jarburg will pretty much become your flower haven. So there's a specific thing you need. Just come here. I think they have every type of flower you can use early game. The special ones like the Eteria Leaves and the Nicola Lily, the Trina's Lily, all that stuff, those won't replenish though. But the Poison Bloom, Row of Fruits, all that, those always replenish. Eyes of Yellow, they won't replenish. So right now you're just getting huge pot upgrades. All the pots are friendly in the village, so don't destroy them. I'm not really sure what the punishment is, but I'm sure it'll probably end the quest line, and that's for this place. And once you're done picking everything up, we got a little bit of a back and forth trek right here. I want to talk to this little jar.
Hello, Cos. What are you doing here? I didn't think anyone knew about this place. Except us jars. Ah. Are you going to be the new potentate? Gosh. Truly. That's wonderful news. It's not easy being potentate, though. I know. Show me your hands. It's just a little test, Cos. To see if you've got the right stuff. Your skin isn't so smooth, is it? You need slick, slidey hands to be potentate, you know? I'm sorry, Cuz. But I don't think you've got what it takes. What a shame. Don't look so glum, Cuz. We can still chat. Potentate or not, come back and visit me. When you can. Don't look so glum, Cuz. We can still chat. Potentate or not, come...
And we just got to kind of back and forth race and go back to him until the dialogue repeats itself.
Oh! Hello again, Cuz. I'm happy you came back. I have good tidings for you, Cuz. Have you noticed the rare flowers growing in this village? I asked the villagers if you could pick some of them, and they said you'd be very welcome. Go on, Kaz. You really should pick some of our flowers. Who knows? They might be of some use. Go on, who knows? Again. Say, Cuz, have you met Uncle Alexander? He used to live here with us, but then he left
10-7.
to be a champion. I asked to go with him, but he said, the path of champions must be trod alone. So heroic, right? I miss him, though. If you see him, you should ask him to teach you how to fight, Cuz. He's big and tough and strong. Uncle Alexander said he won't be back again. My home is of the past, and the past, as they say, is a different country. I suppose that's part of being a warrior, isn't it? So, Please don't tell anyone, cuz... But I'm actually a warrior jar as well. One day, I'll be just like Uncle Alexander. Then I'll have to leave the village to become a champion. Uncle Alexander won't come back here again. My home is of the past. I suppose that... Uncle, my home is... I suppose that... Do you know what a poacher is, cuz? They hunt us, smash us, and then take us away. This village is kept secret, so I think we're safe here. But you should be careful if you ever meet one of them, cuz I hope Uncle Alexander beats them all up first. Those awful poachers. I hope Uncle Alexander beats them all up.
And I think that's the final dialogue line for him. Like, he sleeps, and then something else.
Those awful... Stop. No. Please. No, don't break us. Please.
And that'll be it for Jarberg, so if you just need to come back every now and again, pick some flowers. And that's about the extended use for it for now. But this place is going to tie in with the Ellis's quest line, which is like one of the most random things in the game. Because he literally makes no mention about jars ever. But we won't see the Ellis for a while either, so we just continue on. I think in the last video too, we did the Carrion Study Hall. So this place has 3 parts to it. There's going to be the first, then the second, and then the third over here. You can do the first part only for now until you get certain items. And then you'll have to get Ronnie's questline progressed in order to get the rest of it. And then part of Ronnie's questline was Blythe was telling us to meet him down in the underworld to find out where we can find this lost city called Nocturne. So you actually want to come down here to the riverbank. You want to ride the corner. You can probably find this, I think, in part 6 or 7 of the series, when we took on the entire underground of CF River. And Blythe will just kind of be hanging out over here.
Ah, good to see you. Apologies, mate, but I don't have much to report. I can see bloody Nogron right above me, but I'm absolutely certain all the gateways. Perhaps it's time to recall it. Let's give him.
So these dudes always know how to arrive on time, like a bunch of assholes.
I jest. I wouldn't go that far. Besides, leave this place to me. If either of us learns anything... Leave this place to me. If either of us... And if we reach Celibus Valley gives us straight answer. Leave this place to me. If either of us learns anything. And if we reach Celibus Valley...
Alright, so we had interrupted dialogue there because these guys were shooting at me in the back. But basically he's telling us to go to Selvius, the Preceptor, and see if we can't squeeze out some information about how we can find Nocturne.
Begging for another lesson, Delamere.
Well, well. You're asking me about that, are you? Not only are you incompetent, but shameless to boot. Well, there's no helping it. Now's as good a time as any. I'll let you in on it. There's a glintstone sorcerer by the name of Selin in Limgrave.
Denver called a fake punt. Got it.
For the help I gave her when
They're pulling out all the stops in Buffalo today.
From the academy. I asked her to look into the matter some time ago. I'll write
They
you
get energized ever since their first drive. They punted the ball since. They only scored in the first quarter. Okay, so we got to give this scroll over to Selin. If you progress the quest in a different way, Selvius would actually be dead by now. So this can be missed completely. And all this does is just kind of point out how you're supposed to get to this place because it's just very obscure right now. And you're just trying to put the pieces together. So then you want to go all the way back to Selin. And even though we found basically 3 copies of her scattered around all of Elden Ring, she's not going to have much to say about it at all.
There you are. Shall we commence? Well, well. Celibus is not a name I ever wanted to hear again. But fine. If it will help you, my apprentice, I offer my knowledge. The stars alter the fate of the Karian royal family, and the fate of your mistress, Rani. But long ago, General Radahn challenged the swirling constellations, and in a crushing victory arrested their cycles. Now he is the force that repulses the stars. If General Radahn were to die, the stars would resume their movement, and so too would Rani's destiny.
Alright. So now we've learned that we need to fight and kill General Radahn. You're probably saying, who the hell is that? Because we've never even dealt with that before. Now we gotta return back to Blythe down here. We're just going to take these dudes out since they already started up with us.
well met. What news? So Rani's fate is kept in stasis by Starscourge Radahn. That reminds me of something I heard. There's a festival being held at the castle on the southern edge of the Caelid Wilds, east of Limgrave. It's a festival of combat. And I heard that you can fight Radahn himself. He who was once called the strongest of all the demigods. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I'll be on my way to this festival of Radahn then. You're coming too, right? To Radahn's festivity. I'll meet you at Redmane Castle in Caelid. The way ahead is pleasingly simple. We fight, sword and fang. You're coming too. I'll meet you at Redmane. The way ahead is
Second instance we've been told about this Redmane Castle, all up in Caelid, so we are starting to figure out where we might need to be going next after Liurnia. But that can be completely missed if Selvius dies before we even get a chance to do all that stuff. Alright, so now we got two options left. We got the mini legacy dungeon over this way. Or we can take on the stranded graveyard thing that we haven't yet done for 100% of Limgrave completed. This place features some upgrade mats, so we'll probably want to take this place on first. You kind of want to watch your step in here because they have little caltrops that they drop. Down right there, you pop them, it'll poison you. And right here we have a little bit of an elevator trick. Want to grab our first 5. Just kind of fall. Watch for the hole. They had them at the Buffalo one and let them go all the way to 13. Defense. That just tells me they're not going to get it. They should have got a safety out of that, you know what I mean? You're going to pin them at the 1. I mean, come on. Even then, you go for a fake punt, you get it, and then you don't score. What did you really do it for? Get your first instance of lightning grease. Craft lightning things. Then before going up, probably go back to the round table to upgrade.
Well, I took you no matter to lay out your own.
check on Rogier, see if he's already passed or not. And he has. Now you get his bell bearing and his entire equipment set up. I think it's one of the cleanest uniforms in the game. And that actually does strengthen your glintstone sorceries just by a bit for each one. But if you want a glintstone setup, then this is definitely the uniform to be in. Then if there's anything from Roger you didn't buy, you can go ahead and get it now. I'm gonna talk to her, see if anything else has opened up.
Would you like now?
2-minute warning, it's about to be Denver Ball.
You
They held
are
him on the
so
3rd and 21.
very warm.
And then, yep, so here we go.
My dear, might I ask something of you? Could you please find the owner of this dagger and return it to them? A certain person gave it to me as a gift. It's a very precious thing. It must have a special place in the owner's heart, so I would like for the original owner to have it back, if you wouldn't mind. I'd like you to find the owner of the dagger I gave. It's a very precious thing. It must have a special place in the owner's heart.
Yes, Nicky.
Then good day to you.
Alright, so doing this is going to progress Fia's quest line now in order to attain a rending moon, oh my god, a mending rune. You're going to have to do this. And all mending runes do are just different endings for the Elden Lord trophy. So it's completely up to you if you want to do something like that. Now, let's see. Dagger received from Fia, the deathbed companion. She wishes for it to be returned to its rightful owner. It once was a special weapon of gold and silver intertwined, but it is now worn down and marred by black gash. A couple of things about this is that as soon as you begin this quest line, D is going to basically die here pretty soon. He's just been sitting here the whole time, so it's not like he's really going to be missed or anything. But there is like a whole like subsection that involves him, so he's the owner of the knife. You want to go ahead and give it to him?
Well, what have we here? How did you get your hands on that dagger? Well, that hardly matters. I know very well whose dagger it is. Why don't I return it to good work, bringing this to me?
Then you want to sit at the table to kind of reset the world state. Find that D is gone. Then move over here. You will now see that Fia is gone, meaning that if you like that Baldekin's Blessing stuff, you're not going to get it for a very long time now. Because you have to go through these new open doors down here.
Finally, it is returned to its rightful place. The stolen Hallowbrand of the exalted noble. And now, I must bid you goodbye as well, though I ask you deliver this message to the Round Table Hold. I am Fia, deathbed companion, Hark Round Table. Disturb not the death of Godwyn, the exalted. We who humbly live in death, live in waiting, to one day welcome our Lord. What right does anyone have to object? Our Lord will rise, the Lord of the many and the meek.
All right. Why is it always sadness indeed? Yeah, this happens all the time. So, D's gone. Fia is transported elsewhere. Drop more lines about obscurity of where we're supposed to go next with it. But you do want to pick up D's bell bearing and his whole twin armored set. And then you can see that D has been inflicted with a death blight, so he's gone for good. Now, D's armor is pretty cool. I used it in my Faith build for a majority until I switched over to the Crucible Knight stuff. Pretty lightweight and better armor overall than what we're wearing currently. So if you want more of an upgrade, you can go ahead and put that on. And then you can just kind of cosplay around as D. But getting his equipment set is extremely important for questline. And you can go over here and talk to Gideon, and he's going to make no mention about losing more people from the round table, which is a shame. Then with that, we return over to the ruin-strewn precipice.
swinging this.
The Buffalo 32, probably going to kick a field goal before halftime. Yeah, definitely kick a field goal. Do about a 50-yarder. Field goal. Good? Yeah, I'm good. Halftime. 10-7 Buffalo at half. I'm guessing it's no good. Yeah, no good. Hit the upright, huh? Oh, if they lose by a field goal, there it is. So an interesting curved sword here. Very short weapon, but it restores HP upon defeating enemies. So if you combine that with a bunch of different talismans, then you can definitely set yourself up for a HP restoration build. Probably something more of a dexterity and faith-oriented build. And over here can be a very annoying fight. Well, no one said it was a perfect game. I've honestly never seen that doing this the entire time I played it, but apparently that one gets stuck there if you shoot it with an arrow. But essentially they both kind of just fly all over the place, start casting poison, they pin you to the ground, grab you, all while you're getting attacked by these the little land octopus things. So that fight can be a little bit more annoying as a melee build. Sorcerers, no problem, just kind of go in there and spam R1, you're good to go. This will be our first instance of a free Lost Ashes of War. So again, if you really like an Ash of War, they only come by in just once, unless they are already attached to a weapon previously. So if you like, you know, the Chilling Frost Mist or the Holy Blade that we've been using and stuff like that, now you can duplicate it and put it on 2 different weapons rather than switching them in and out. But I would hold off on using those things because you get better Ashes of War throughout the game that you might want to consider. I will suggest plussing up your rune count to probably get a level up here, because this fight can be one of probably the hardest so far. Now this Ash of War setup, anything that you have that causes frost build, I would definitely do it, because this enemy is weak against frost. And very resistant to fire, so your fire things aren't going to do much to it. But we get rid of all the runes and stuff, just like our Bloodborne and Dark Souls playthroughs, because we don't want to run in there and always constantly worry about our runes, you know, and all that stuff. We just focus on repeating the boss if need be. Being that this one is a requirement for all the legendary gear. You do get 2 summon helps. You get the Blackguard, which is the dude we met down by the shack who stole the lady's necklace. Then you get Great Horn Tragoth, who's basically just a copyright Havel. Unite yourself a little gesture there, then go in and face the boss. I would just let the NPCs kind of grab aggro on this guy because his movements are chaotic and wild. As you can tell, he's already coming at us. You want to watch the pool of lava? And obviously with the frost buildup, that made that a lot easier to deal with. So you're happy with that. Down here you want to put a marker. I'm going to advise against going above this platform because it's going to take you to a different entrance to the Altus Plateau, and it can kind of realign and shift a bunch of quest lines. By grabbing this creates no issues. And we got ourselves another Dragon Heart, along with Magma Worm Scale Sword. There's a curved great sword that does fire damage. Great for faith builds. But it kind of falls off in the damage department, so not the greatest things to do. And that would be it for this little mini legacy, is what I call it. So once all that's taken care of, we have pretty much completed all of the exploration around Liurnia now. And what remains is to complete Limgrave finally. And we're going to do that by going to the Stranded Graveyard. And for this part, you just want to run. Don't roll in the poison because you'll just build it up quicker. Then we got a bit of a puzzle here. Yeah, the NPCs are dumb as fuck, so just kind of do that. You can drop off right here, be a little bit quicker of a shortcut. And then if you're doing this naturally, you're going to die a bunch of different times because you're not going to know where to go. But you kind of want to just aim yourself down here. You'll see the things coming at you eventually. I normally just pick this up. And then he'll scare you. You'll kind of dive bomb off the edge. Now's a great time to make use of this trick. You can pop those from a distance so you don't have to deal with the fire that comes out of them. And honestly, this is just a dumbass message, so he's going to get that. There's no shit, you attack everything in this game. This area can be a bit of a doozy. If you look up, you can see there's something attached to the wall. And then obviously on our side as well. It's a little bit more harder to kind of see, but if you poke up, you have 2 grafted scions that will drop down as soon as you try to go for that little item over there. Those are the things with multiple arms. And yeah, we got someone here. I already pointed it out. So good. Those are the good messages. When people are actually helpful and not fucking retarded. Now, you can run for the item and then drop down here. If you can make the run back. You can fight them in straight up combat, or you can take them back up to the platform and then kind of raise the trap while you're standing on it. So like this. Then the fire should become spewing out. Yeah. So if you can trick their AI to get inside of that, it'll help you out. But most of the time they like to hang out right here and kind of swipe at you. So you can range them down, throw pots, do whatever you got to do really to defeat these guys. So they are kind of high HP. A little bit difficult to deal with in tight spaces. We'll try our luck and see if we can actually get one. Okay, took the ball all the way down there. It's almost touchdown Buffalo. And get over. They lost the will to be there after he missed field goal. They tried. 17-7. That was gonna be a hard comeback, you know. Then doing that, you get one of the best talismans in the game. Said the age of the Earth Tree began, such blessings were personally bestowed upon the recipients of Queen Marika herself. So Earth Tree's favor, brandishing a Queen Marika icon on it. And this thing raises your HP, equipment load, and stamina all in one. So once we get a third slot, that's definitely one that's good, but you do want Radigan Scarsill in there if you're running a melee type build, because it's just more powerful, even though it has the increased damage taken debuff attached to it. Which you can see we're surviving really well even with that on. Then roll down. Nothing in here. You get more of the dungeon. There is no secret, so don't listen to these messages down here. Defense held. 13-7. Field goal. Alright, this can be a bit of a tough fight right here. You don't want to drive off the edge. And then the secret for this guy is that you got to have to time it up right and use these overhead pots on him. I don't really have like a recommendation for when you should shoot him down. Just kind of know when to do it. And you get 3 shots to do it, so I've never missed it, so I don't know if the pots ever replenish, and then that's like your only chance. I don't really see how you can complete the dungeon if you miss it completely, so they might replenish. Plus you would miss out on a weapon too, which would be shit if they only gave you 3 shots at it. But this one is the Erd Tree Great Bow. So this is a faith-induced bow. It will only really work with holy infused arrows, but we ain't gonna see those for a long time. So this weapon's kind of useless for most of the game. But it is your first great bow. You can use regular great arrows on it. But being that it has holy split damage, it's not really the greatest damage dealing types. Then with that massive headache out of the way, you are free to explore the rest of the dungeon. And pretty much from here on out, there's going to be a lot of ghost dudes that are going to appear left and right. They're all just exile guys. So if you did Limgrave and Stormvale Castle, they won't be really much to you. We do want to travel upwards. Kind of get them to... want to watch out for this knight. He has a little special power to him. But most importantly, what pops out of him is the Dragon Communion Seal. So if you're really liking your Dragon Communion skills, this seal is the one for you. It's going to boost your powers by like 10-15%. I'm not sure if they scaled it down or not. But if you're not really dabbling heavy into faith and stuff like that, and you're just using the dragon heads, there you go. That is the seal you will need. And the best part about this seal is that it weighs nothing. So you could put it in any build and it'll suit just fine, even if you're just trying to get regular spells out. And that's something that I will be using because I don't want extra weight when it comes to the Flame Cleanse Me spell. Okay, so they're very forgiving here. You do get a statue of Marika just kind of chilling down here. And I would take it every single time, even if it is a difficult boss to deal with, because you don't want to make that run back. And I don't think the thing will replenish, but I'm not really sure. I've never come back down here to kind of see that. And then, of course, it's going to be a fire weak boss, so you want to make sure you have that. Or you can use blood. Blood also works too here. But this is going to be one of the toughest versions we fought so far. This is the best opening you got at doing a lot of damage to him. And of course, when he bursts up like that, if you can get off his head right here, it's probably the best chance to get more damage. You really want to avoid this. This attack sucks if it hits. He'll pretty much just scoop you up and then eat you, burn you. It's a wrap after that. You're not going to make it. But he drops one of the best dudes in the game. One of the two knights known as the Wings of Storm. After his banishment, he attracted the notice of the grace-given Lord, and later, having slain 100 traitors as the Lord's hand, Oleg earned the hero's honor of Erdtree Burial. So this is the second dude. We look at our spirit ashes. You got Knight Oleg and then Knight Engvel, so both of them. I think Oleg's a lot better because he has the two great swords in hand and does just more damage with them. Angvel is pretty good too, but you know, if you want a halberd moveset or a double sword moveset, I would go with Oleg. I think he costs just a bit more though. No, they're about the same. Okay. But Luthor will still be really good because of the phasing in and out deal. So you got your choices of special ashes for now, and then of course you got your regular guys if you need to use these ones. Alright, then that will be Limgrave 100% completed now. There's nothing now else to do here. And then Liurnia is complete as well. There's nothing you can do to advance Ronnie's questline until you go into Caelid, which is the Deadland area. And then if we want to, we can go over here and turn in those death roots that we got through the exploration. But the problem here is that he's going to go kind of crazy. And he's extremely tough to take down. At least to, like, whatever health bar you need to take down him to. Let's see. Then after this, it's just going to be this middle area that we haven't been through. And then on through the gates to get into the academy. And then that's going to be the second legacy dungeon of the game. We're going to go back to Bach and then turn in the golden sewing kit that we got.
Bach have the scene ready to make a... Oh, please.
Oh. You see how I'm turning? I think it's already innate. Like, as soon as you try to do it, you'll be good. And now we have to use 4 golden seeds. So this is the most amount of flax you'll have up to this point, unless you go into Caelid and get more. So 10 is pretty good. At this point, you'll only be 4 flasks away from having full amount. Took down all the night bosses that we can find so far. All the caves. You got the Alberneric woman. Advanced Nefelis. Met Ronnie and her little group. Took down the Ruinstrom's Precipice. Got close to here and did Hyeda. Yep, so there is a lot that we did for completion there. All that really remains is to kind of go into here and then on through the Legacy Dungeon. We can't do anything with Tops yet because we don't have a key for him. Alright then, so then when we come back, it'll be this main area and then the Legacy Dungeon, which will take up a lot of time. Oh my. Alright, when I return, it'll be right here in front of this door, so thanks for watching. Hopefully this video stays on, and the other one we missed, like I said, it's just that the whole left side is basically what's gone for good. Thanks for watching.